Yum, yum!
Floyd here with a quick look at creating a heart shape in Illustrator. Start by creating a square using the Rectangle tool. Select and delete one of the top corner points. Then rotate the path to create a V shape. Change the stroke cap to round and increase the stroke weight until the V looks like a heart. Then use the Outline Stroke command from the Object menu, and you're all set. Floyd here with a quick tip for creating a shape from a stroke in Illustrator. A quick way to create shapes in Illustrator is to create a stroke and then convert that stroke into an outline. To do this, start by selecting a stroke and then choose Outline Stroke from the Object Path menu. The stroke will be converted into a shape that can be further refined. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Draw Inside option in Illustrator, which enables you to put content inside of a vector shape. Start by selecting the shape you want to work with and select the Draw Inside mode located towards the bottom of the toolbar. A dashed border will appear in the corners around the shape. You can then create, paste, or place new content, and they'll appear inside the selected shape. To edit the internal shapes, simply double-click on the shape to enter isolation mode. Then edit the existing content or add more content. To exit isolation mode, use the Escape key. Use the Draw Inside mode to create internal shapes in Illustrator. Floyd here with a quick look at bringing an Illustrator file into Modo. When saving your file from Illustrator, choose Illustrator 8 for the version attribute. It's important to remember that the newer versions of the Illustrator file format will not load into Modo. Once saved, simply open the file using Modo's Open command from the File menu. The Illustrator paths will load into Modo as editable curves. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Generative Re-Color feature in Illustrator, which enables you to transform the hues in your artwork with text prompts. To use, select the elements you want to work with, click Recolor, then click Generative Re-Color. Enter a text description in the prompt input field, then click Generate. Generate as many variations as you'd like, and when you're happy with the result, you can select it, then switch to the Standard Recolor tab for further refinement. Click OK to commit, and you're all set. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Align Objects tools in Illustrator, which enable you to quickly align selected objects. Start by selecting the objects you'd like to align, then open Align from the Window menu, or use the keyboard shortcut Shift F7. For this example, I'll align these two objects with horizontal align left, then these three objects with vertical align center, and these three objects with vertical align top. Use the Align Objects options to clean up and organize your work with little to no effort. Floyd here with a quick look at importing Illustrator paths into Clo. Create a pattern in Illustrator, and then save it as an Illustrator file with the Create PDF Compatible File option enabled. In Clo, go to File, Import Add, Adobe AI PDF, and open the AI file you saved. Adjust any of the import attributes you'd like, and then click OK. Depending on the complexity of the shape, you may need to adjust the particle distance to get cleaner results. Use this simple process to use Illustrator in your Clo workflow. Floyd here with a quick technique for adding an offset stroke to text in Illustrator. Start with the text you'd like to work with, and then open the Appearance window. Use the Add New Stroke option, then click the Effects button and choose Path, Offset Path. For this example, I'll use the default settings, but feel free to adjust the offset amount to your liking. Click the Effects button again, and then choose Pathfinder, Add. This will boolean the individual shapes and produce a much cleaner result. The text is still live, enabling you to make any edits you'd like while maintaining the offset stroke effect. Use this simple setup to add a clean offset stroke to your text in Illustrator. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Blob Brush in Illustrator, which draws strokes that are immediately expanded into shapes. At first glance, the Brush tool and the Blob Brush appear to work the same, but a closer look reveals that the Brush tool creates paths that have a stroke applied with no filled shape, while the Blob Brush creates a filled shape with no stroke applied. When additional strokes are painted with the Brush tool over existing strokes, they remain independent. But when additional shapes are painted over existing shapes with a Blob Brush, they're merged with the original shape. As with other tools in Illustrator, double-clicking the Blob Brush icon will give you access to the tool's options, where you can adjust the size and smoothing effect plus several other options. Use the Blob Brush along with the Eraser tool to quickly create organic shapes with little effort. Floyd here with a quick color scheme tip for Illustrator. If you ever attempt to change the color of an object, but the result is grayscale no matter what color you've selected, it could be due to the color scheme attribute being set to grayscale. To change this setting, select the object, then open the color palette and change the color scheme to one of the options that supports color, such as RGB or CMYK. Once changed, the issue will be resolved. Floyd here with a quick look at creating type on a path in Illustrator. Start with the path you'd like to work with. This can be an open or closed path. Activate the Type on Path tool and click on the path. Edit the temporary text to your liking. You can slide the text on the path by selecting the object, then click and drag the center bracket. It's also good to know that the path remains live, which enables you to go back and adjust it at any time. Floyd here with a quick tip for editing a single document with 2 windows in Illustrator. To open a second window of the current document, go to the Window menu and navigate to the New Window command. This will create a second window, enabling you to have 2 separate views of the same artwork. You can make edits to either window because both are showing the exact same document. Use this powerful feature to avoid unneeded panning and zooming while editing your work. Floyd here with a quick look at generating Illustrator paths from a Modo render. Start with the asset you'd like to work with, then add a diffuse color render output to the shader tree by going to Add Layer, Render Outputs, Material, Diffuse Color. To see what this will look like, change the effect to Diffuse Color Output for the preview. This generates a render with flat color and no lighting effects. Generate a render using the Render button, save the render, and then open Illustrator. Use the Place command found in the File menu to add the saved render to the artboard. Open the Image Trace window from the Window menu, click the Auto Color button to preview the trace, then click Expand to commit, and the image will be converted to paths. Use this simple workflow to quickly generate vector art from a 3D asset. Floyd here with a couple quick tips for toggling between fill and stroke in Illustrator. If you'd like to quickly switch between fill and stroke, use the keyboard shortcut X. Using the keyboard shortcut Shift X will swap the color attributes of the fill and stroke. Floyd here with a quick look at importing Adobe Illustrator paths into Plasticity. Start by selecting the paths you'd like to import and copy them to the clipboard. Then paste them into your web browser at this location. Click the download icon in the upper left corner to save the file as a step file. Next, open Plasticity and import the file into your scene, and you're all set. Use this handy tool to import your Illustrator art into Plasticity. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Twirl Tool in Illustrator, which creates swirling distortions within an object. To use, activate the Twirl Tool and then left-click and hold on a shape. The longer you hold, the greater the twirl. Hold the Alt key and left-click and drag to change the shape and size of the brush. You can also control the twirl's direction by clicking down on the mouse first and then holding the Alt key after. Double-click on the Twirl Tool icon to access the Twirl Tool's options. This should be your go-to tool when needing to create swirling distortions in Illustrator. Floyd here with a quick look at creating the Toyota logo in Illustrator. For this walkthrough, I've pre-generated all the source curves using the Ellipse tool. Start by selecting all of the shapes you want to work with, activate the Shape Builder tool, then left-click and drag over the shapes you'd like to merge into a single shape. Hold the Alt key to enter eraser mode, and left-click and drag to remove the unwanted shapes. With 6 simple ovals and the Shape Builder tool, you can create this logo quickly while producing clean results. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Smooth tool in Illustrator, which enables you to smooth existing paths by reducing and reconfiguring control points. To use, select the path you'd like to work with, activate the Smooth tool, and then left-click and drag over the area you'd like to smooth. You can work on entire paths, portions of a path, as well as individual control points. Double-clicking on the tool's icon gives you access to its options, allowing you to adjust the strength of the smoothness. Use this powerful tool to quickly clean up your paths with little to no effort. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Blend tool in Illustrator, which enables you to morph between paths and shapes as well as produce color blends. To use, activate the tool, click on a shape, then click on another shape. New shapes will be created morphing from the first to the second. If the 2 shapes have different fill colors, the Blend tool will try and create a smoother transition. This works on internal shapes as well and produces a smooth gradient. By default, the Blend tool is set to smooth color, but if you double-click the tool's icon and change the spacing to specified steps, you can define how many in-between shapes are created. The Blend tool is a live tool, meaning you can change its object or shape, its color or position, and the blend will be updated live. You can also change the path the blend runs along by using the Replace Spine option. This feature isn't limited to shapes. You can also blend between multiple paths. Use this powerful tool to quickly create amazing morphing effects in Illustrator. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Width tool in Illustrator, which enables you to adjust the thickness of a path and create custom stroke profiles. Start by activating the Width tool. Hover over a path and then left-click and drag to adjust the thickness. You can add as many width points to a path as you'd like. To remove a width point, simply select it and delete it. You can change the width asymmetrically by holding the Alt key as you drag. If you create a stroke profile you'd like to reuse, you can save the profile by selecting the stroke, opening the profile selector in the stroke panel, and then click on Add to Profile at the bottom of the panel. You can apply the saved profile to a stroke by selecting the stroke, choosing the profile from the profiles list, and then adjusting the stroke weight to your liking. Use the Width tool to vary the thickness of your strokes and to add variety to your vector work. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Rotate tool in Illustrator, which enables you to rotate objects around a fixed point. To use, start by selecting the object you'd like to work with, activate the Rotate tool, left-click where you'd like to set the pivot point, which is represented by a cyan crosshair, then simply left-click and drag anywhere away from the pivot point. Pressing and holding the Alt key and left-clicking will place the pivot point and bring up the Rotate attributes. Here you can numerically enter the angle and use the Copy option to create a duplicate. To repeat the last action, use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-D. Add the Rotate tool to your toolkit for greater control when rotating in Illustrator. Floyd here with a quick introduction to send to back and bring to front arrange options in Illustrator, which enable you to change the stacking order of objects in a group or layer. To use, start by selecting the object you'd like to work with, then choose Send to Back from the Arrange submenu in the Object menu. This will send the selected object to the bottom position in its group or layer. Choose Bring to Front to move the object to the top of the stack. Use these handy options to determine how your objects display when they overlap. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Select Same Fill Color option in Illustrator, which will select all objects with the same fill color. To use, start by selecting an object, then choose Same Fill Color from the Select menu. All objects that use the same color will be selected, making it easy to edit the color for all those objects. Be sure to experiment with the other Select Same options such as Fill and Stroke Color to speed up selecting elements in Illustrator. Floyd here with a quick look at how to convert text to a shape in Illustrator. Start with some text and the shape you'd like to work with, select the shape object, and use the Bring to Front command from the Object menu. Next, shift select the text so that both the text and shape are selected. Then go to Object, Envelope Distort, Make with Top Object, and you're all set. It's important to note that both the text and shape are still live, enabling you to edit them at any time. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Shaper tool in Illustrator, which enables you to draw and edit shapes. This powerful tool lets you quickly draw rough shapes, which it then converts into cleaner versions of that shape. Select the shape and use the transform handles to adjust the shapes to your liking. This includes rounding corners on squares, changing the number of sides, and more. When two shapes overlap, you can merge them by simply scribbling over the line that separates the shapes, or scribble over a shape to subtract it from another shape. These shapes remain live, allowing you to further refine them. Use this powerful feature set to draw and combine shapes. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Release to Layers command in Illustrator, which redistributes all the objects in a layer into individual layers. To use, select a layer that contains multiple objects, and then choose Release to Layers from the Layer panel menu. A new sublayer will be created for each object, and the order of the layers will be based on the object stacking order. If you want to convert the sublayers to layers, simply select them and drag them out from underneath the parent layer. Use this powerful command to quickly generate a new layer per object. Floyd here with a quick look at simplifying paths in Illustrator. Working with paths that have many anchor points can be a tedious process. You can quickly reduce the complexity of a path using the Simplify Path option. Start by selecting the path you'd like to edit, go to Object, Path, Simplify. You can use the Auto Simplify Anchor Points option, or manually adjust the number of anchor points using the Reduce Anchor Points slider. Click the More Options icon to access additional attributes. Use this powerful feature for easier path editing. Floyd here with a quick introduction to working with the Shape Builder tool in Illustrator, which enables you to quickly merge or subtract one shape from another. To use, start by selecting the paths you want to work with, and then activate the Shape Builder tool. Next, left-click and drag over the shapes you'd like to merge. Hold the Alt key to enter Erase mode, and then left-click and drag over elements you'd like to remove. Using these two options will enable you to quickly build more complex shapes from simple paths using the Shape Builder tool. Floyd here with a quick introduction to working with symbols in Illustrator, which are graphic elements that enable you to create something one time, add instances of that object, and then later change them all at once. To create a symbol, open the Symbols palette and then drag an object into it. Give the symbol a name, choose the Export and Symbol type, and then click OK. To use the symbol, simply drag it from the palette and onto the artboard. You can use symbols unlimited times, and at any time you can double-click the symbol in the palette to edit it. Once finished, all instances will reflect the changes. Use this powerful feature to enable easy updates to your work. Floyd here with a quick tip for repositioning shapes while creating them in Illustrator. When drawing a shape, simply press and hold the spacebar to reposition it. Release the spacebar to continue resizing the shape. Use this handy option to increase the speed of shape creation in Illustrator. Floyd here with a quick introduction to Puppet Warp in Illustrator, which lets you twist and distort parts of your artwork by moving and rotating pins. To use, start by selecting the object you'd like to transform, and then activate the Puppet Warp tool. Pins will be automatically created, but you can easily add additional pins by left-clicking the area you'd like to pin. You can remove pins by selecting them and pressing delete. Click and drag on a pin to transform the object. Unselected pins will hold the nearby areas in place. To twist the artwork, move the cursor close to a pin, and when a dotted circle appears, drag to rotate. Use this powerful tool to organically transform your shapes in Illustrator. Floyd here with a quick look at Radial Repeat in Illustrator, which enables you to quickly distribute objects around a central point. To use, select the object you'd like to work with, then choose Object, Repeat, Radial. 8 instances will be generated by default, but you can change the instance count by simply sliding the instance control up and down. Drag the control in the circle to change the size and rotation, and drag either splitter control to remove some of the instances. Any changes made to one of the objects will affect all instances, making it easy to modify all shapes. Spend some time experimenting with this powerful repeat pattern to easily distribute objects around a central point. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the ReShape Tool in Illustrator, which enables you to edit paths organically while keeping the overall detail of the path intact. To use, either select a control point and left-click and drag to reshape, or left-click and drag on a path and a new control point will be created. The ReShape tool acts like a magnet drag with fall-off on portions of a path, and allows you to edit the path without needing to adjust handles. I find it similar to how Flash edited shapes. You can also duplicate entire paths by holding down the Alt key while dragging on your selection, and the shape will be copied every time you click. Use the ReShape tool to quickly edit your paths in a fluid, organic way. Floyd here with a quick look at importing an open Illustrator curve in Houdini. Start by saving an open curve from Illustrator. Be sure to save it as an Illustrator 8 file for the version. In Houdini, add a file node, and select the AI file from the geometry file attribute. The curve will be closed, but this can be corrected by adding an ends node, and then changing the close U attribute to open. Use this simple process when working with open curves from Illustrator. Floyd here with a quick look at reversing layer stacking order in Illustrator. To reverse the order of items in the layer panel, start by selecting the layers you'd like to edit, then open the Layers panel menu and choose Reverse Order. Use this handy command to quickly manipulate the stacking order of your layers. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Pixel Preview in Illustrator, which enables you to preview how objects will look when rasterized. Simply choose View, Pixel Preview, or use the keyboard shortcut Alt-Control-Y. You can zoom in for a closer look at the pixels that make up the rasterized art, and to disable Pixel Preview mode, simply repeat the steps. Use this handy view mode to preview what your objects will look like when exporting them out as raster files such as a PNG or JPEG. Floyd here with a quick tip for working with multiple views in Illustrator. Views can be used to quickly navigate to different areas of your document as well as change display settings. To create a new view, simply choose New View from the View menu. Create up to 25 views for each document. To use a view, simply select it from the bottom of the View menu. I like to think of views as bookmarks in my document. They allow me to quickly jump from one part of the document to another without needing to manually pan and zoom. Floyd here with a quick introduction to Outline Mode in Illustrator, which enables you to view your artwork as simple vector paths. To activate Outline Mode, simply go to the View menu and choose Outline. You can also use the keyboard shortcut Control-Y to toggle between Preview and Outline Mode. You can toggle individual layers by holding the Control key and clicking on the layer's eye icon. If you'd like to see Outline and Preview at the same time, you can take advantage of the navigator, which always displays in Preview mode. Floyd here with a quick tip for moving an object to a different layer in Illustrator. Start by selecting the object you'd like to move, followed by the layer you'd like to move it to, and choose Object, Arrange, Send to Current Layer. You can also cut the selected object, select the layer you want to move it to, and use the Paste and Place command. Another option, and my preferred method, is to simply select the object, and then drag the selected art indicator located in the selection column to the layer you want the object to be moved to. Use either of these methods to keep your layers organized. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Merge Selected and Flatten Artwork commands in Illustrator, which enable you to consolidate multiple layers into a single layer. To merge layers, simply select the layers you'd like to combine and choose Merge Selected from the Layers panel menu. To consolidate all layers, use the Flatten Artwork command from the Layers panel menu. Floyd here with a quick introduction to Image Trace in Illustrator, which enables you to convert raster images to vector artwork. To use, select the image you'd like to convert. As you can see here, this raster line art image is made up of pixels. Next, select Make and Expand from the Object Image Trace menu. This command converts the raster pixels to vector paths. If you'd like more control of the conversion process, open the Image Trace panel to access its options. Here you can define attributes of the tracing process and see a preview before committing. Use this powerful feature to quickly convert raster images to editable paths. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Intertwine feature in Illustrator, which enables you to add depth to overlapping objects. To use, select the objects you want to work with, then choose Intertwine Make from the Object menu. Hover over the objects to get a pre-highlight of the overlapping zones, then click the overlapping zone to perform the intertwine. To release intertwined objects, simply select them and choose Intertwine Release from the Object menu. Use this powerful feature to intertwine overlapping objects in Illustrator. Floyd here with a quick tip for creating a radial array in Illustrator. We'll start by creating a radial template that we can use as a guide. Double-click on the Polar Grid tool and change the radial divides number attribute to the amount of duplicates you want to create in your array, and then click OK. Hold down the Alt and Shift key and left-click and drag to create the grid. Next, create the shape you want to array and place it on one of the dividers of the guide. With the shape selected, activate the Rotate tool and move the cyan blue reference point to the center of the polar grid. Left-click and drag away from the reference point to rotate the shape. Once you've started rotating, hold down the Alt key. This will create a copy of the object instead of rotating the object itself. Release the mouse and Alt key to complete the action. Next, use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-D to make additional copies. Once you've completed the array, simply delete the template grid and you're all set. Floyd here with a quick introduction to working with the Pathfinder shape modes in Illustrator, which enable you to quickly combine multiple objects into new shapes. Start by opening the Pathfinder panel from the Windows menu. Next, select the shapes you'd like to work with and choose one of the Pathfinder shape modes from the top row. Unite will create a single shape based on the silhouette of the selected shapes. Minus front will subtract the shape on top from the shape on bottom. Intersect will remove any portion of the shapes that aren't overlapping. And exclude will convert any overlapping areas into holes. Holding down the Alt key and clicking on any of these options will result in the creation of compound paths. Compound paths preserve the original paths, allowing you to make additional edits. Clicking Expand will release the compound shape back into separate objects. Use these options to quickly create new shapes from multiple objects. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Eraser tool in Illustrator, which enables you to remove parts of a path or shape. To use, simply activate the Eraser tool and left-click and drag over the elements you'd like to remove. Double-click the tool's icon to access the Eraser tool options, where you can customize the eraser's angle, roundness, and size. Add the Eraser tool to your toolkit to expand path creation in Illustrator. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Paste Remember Layers option in Illustrator. When copying and pasting multi-layered objects, Illustrator will paste all objects into the currently active layer. If you'd like to maintain the individual layer setup, activate the Paste Remember Layers option in the Options menu of the Layers palette. With this option enabled, Illustrator will remember what layer each object was in and paste them back into the same layer. If pasting into a new document that doesn't have layers with the same names, Illustrator will create those layers. Use this feature to stay organized when pasting multi-layered objects. Floyd here with a quick introduction to working with the pattern brushes in Illustrator, which enable you to evenly place objects along a path. Start by creating the shape you'd like to duplicate and the path you'd like the shape cloned along. Next, select the object to be duplicated and open the Brushes palette. Choose New Brush, select the Pattern Brush option, and click OK. Give the new pattern brush a name, adjust the attributes to your liking, and click OK. All that's left is to select the path and choose the new brush you created, and you're all set. Floyd here with a quick tip for changing the thumbnail size of your layers in Illustrator. There are several size options available for layer thumbnails, and you can easily change the setting by opening the panel options from the Layer Palette menu. Choose between small, medium, and large thumbnails. You can also create a custom size by choosing and editing the other attribute. There are many variables that will determine which setting is best for you, such as the resolution of your monitor, the complexity of your document, and of course, personal preference. Experiment with all the options to see what works best for you. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Knife tool in Illustrator, which enables you to cut shapes along a freehand path. Start by selecting the Knife tool, and then left-click and drag over the object you'd like to cut. To create a straight cut, hold the Alt key and then left-click and drag. The object will be sliced based on these cuts. Use this handy tool to quickly divide objects. Floyd here with a quick introduction to the Join tool in Illustrator, which enables you to merge separate paths and trim unwanted segments quickly. I'll demonstrate the tool by first creating some unconnected overlapping paths. On this last one, I'll leave a small gap between these paths. Using the Join tool, I simply drag over the excess segments, and they'll be removed, and the two paths will be merged. You can also close small gaps between paths as seen here. Use this powerful tool to quickly merge and clean up your paths. Floyd here with a quick look at the Interface Brightness attribute in Illustrator. To access the Interface Brightness options, go to Edit, Preferences, User Interface. There are 4 options to choose from, enabling you to choose the brightness of the UI. Experiment with each option and choose what works best for you. Floyd here with a quick look at bringing an Illustrator file into Houdini. When saving your file from Illustrator, choose Illustrator 8 for the version attribute. Use this older version to avoid potential issues when importing into Houdini. In Houdini, add a file node and select the AI file for the geometry file attribute. The paths will most likely come in off origin, so add a transform node and use the Move Center to Origin option to reposition it. If your AI file has counters or holes, add a hole node to knock out the holes. You're now ready to continue to add nodes such as poly extrude or whatever else the scene requires.
Yum, yum!